Hey everybody, welcome to VIF Madhouse once again. Today's recording is going to be a little different from what we do usually. This video is about getting on the path to healing your trauma. Because usually we don't talk about this type of topics like mental health. Like I talk about everything in my podcast, but it's not focused on mental health. So today's video is very important to me because this is a video that I've been wanting to make for the longest time because that's something that was really personal to me. I even went to school and studied psychology just because I wanted to understand myself. And the reason behind it is that I went through a lot of childhood trauma. To me, it was a lot. Okay, like this ain't about anything. To me, it was a lot. I went through the things that I went through. Now I understand how they served me. Now I understand how my trauma helped me actually. I was taking my time to get myself to a point where I could talk about it. Growing up, we didn't talk about it. We didn't talk about feelings. I didn't talk about emotions with my family. No one talked about those type of stuff. All I saw was the result of consequences of unstable mental health, like alcoholism growing up around me, physical abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse, psychological abuse, you name it. When I came to America, I had to deal with different other issues, like learning a new language because I am bilingual. I speak multiple languages. So learning a new language was also really complicated because on the emotional level, I was messed up. So it was really hard for me to go out there and practice my English because I was scared. I didn't trust anybody. I tried to do it on my own. But you cannot learn a new language on your own. You need the interaction with other people. Then I had to deal with a new system. Remember, I came from being on survival mode all my life because it was all anxiety from left and right, fear from left and right, abuse from left and right. So now I'm in a new country with a new system, with a new language. Imagine how that was for me. I was panicking 24/7. If I tell you, I was panicking 24/7. This is some few tips into getting on the path to healing your trauma. Because if you don't heal your trauma, best believe it, you're going to pass it down to the next generation. The trauma that you are aware of, chances are you will not pass it down the next generation because you'll be aware of it. But the ones that are in your blind spot, you will definitely pass it down because you are not aware of it. You can become the abuser too sometimes. The shopping addiction, the alcoholism, the drug abuse, the risky sexual behaviors in your lives are affecting the people around you. But you cannot help it if you don't know. So the first tip is finding out how you really feel about what happened when you were growing up. Finding out how you truly feel about the things that happened to you when you was a kid. You don't even know how you truly feel anymore because you've bottled everything up so hard and threw it away. Because if you have been abused as a kid, chances are you didn't let it out. You didn't tell the adults in your life how you really felt. You kept it inside. Write down your stories. Write down how you feel. Write down inside a book every morning about what happened when you grew up. The things you can't talk about, write it down. It may sound like work to write something down every morning, but that's exactly what it is. It's work. You need to do the work so that you don't pass the trauma down to the next generation. You need to do the work. When you write down your stories about your childhood and what happened to you and how you really feel about the situations, you can go back next time and read. And as you are reading, you're starting to look at it like, oh my God, I've been through it. Then you start feeling compassion towards yourself. You are more compassionate towards yourself. Because the reason why you bottle up, you put all those feelings in a bottle, you lock it in your heart, is because truly deep inside, you don't love yourself, to be honest. Because why would you want to hurt yourself if you love yourself? Because you're hurting yourself keeping those feelings inside so hard. And then out of nowhere, it comes out under different forms. Anger, alcoholism, shopping addiction, risky sexual behavior, physical abuse to other people, or just depression, like you're just depressed and locked in your room, locked into yourself. Anxiety, for people that are dealing with worse cases, bipolar depression or disorder, schizophrenia. People become schizophrenic. In Africa, we have a lot of people that are schizophrenic walking up and down the street, but to the unaware mind, it's called witchcraft. We think it's witchcraft, but really these people are dealing with some serious mental issues that can be actually treated with proper care. So after you write your feelings down, read. Don't give it to anybody to read, because no one cares, to be honest. That's why calling people to pour your feelings out is really useless, because people don't really care. They have their own trauma to deal with. They have their own life sadness to deal with. Nobody wants to hear about your misery. Even if they listen to you, they really don't want to. Or even if they want to, at the end of the day, they really don't care. That's why the next time you're still feeling the anger. The best way to deal with it, or let me say, the easiest way to deal with it, is to write it down, because writing is so easy. Ever since we were kids, we were writing. By the age you was like 2 years old, you started writing down. You started writing at 2. So writing is very easy. Write it down. Don't give it to nobody to read, because if you give your writings to someone to read, you're like, here is my feelings, please read my feelings. This is what they will do most likely. If they are honest, they will tell you, what type of writing is this? What is this? Why are you writing like a doctor? I can't even understand what you're writing. You don't even know where the road to medical school is, but yet you are writing like a doctor. What type of nonsense? Take your feelings somewhere else. I don't mean to be harsh. I personally, I care and I listen to people's feelings. There are people out there who cares. Don't get me wrong. There are people out there who care, but they are very few. The chances of you meeting someone who cares is very slim. So the best way, the easiest way for me, and I think it will be for you too, because writing is pretty simple. Write down your feelings. As you keep writing down, the compassion towards yourself will grow. And as the compassion towards yourself grows, love starts flourishing from within. Remember, even your Bible says, I'm quoting the Bible because that's one of the most popular book out there. Multiple other religions say almost the same thing. God is within you. God is within you, then God is love. So if God is love and God is within you, that means love is within you. Even in voodoo religion, they said, you are nature and nature is you. Nature is mother, mother is love. Love is you. You are love. What's within you is you. What is within you is you. So you are love. You are love in his purest form. Love is within you. You just have to dig in and reach out to it. If you touch the love that's within you, it will be easier to heal your trauma. And how do you do that? First step that I think it's easier, write it down. That's what helped me. As I'm writing down my feelings, I'm realizing, okay, I've been through a lot, and there's no way these people did this to me if they themselves haven't been through a lot. That's how I started to understand the situation. I was like, hurt people hurt people. There's no way someone is going to do this to me and they themselves are okay. So it was easy for me. It was easier to forgive at that point. When I reached out and touched the love within myself, it was easier to forgive at that point. That takes us to the next step, which is find a way to forgive. Yes, I know it might sound crazy. Yes, these people hurt me. Yes, they abused me. Yeah, they've done all that they've done to me. But guess what? If you want to move on, if you truly love yourself, you have to forgive. You don't have to forget, but forgiveness, at least you must. Because you cannot have pure love in your heart if you're having resentment against somebody, if you're having anger against somebody, if you're hating somebody, if you have hate against someone. You cannot touch the love within yourself. Yes, once in a while, some feeling might erupt from your heart. But you don't want to, you want to try as much as possible to deal with them to a point where it doesn't happen unconsciously. You want it to happen consciously, that you're aware of it. You're aware that right now you're experiencing anger. Right now you're experiencing anxiety. Right now you're going through depression. You want to be aware of it, because the problem is most people are going through it without being self-aware of it. And that's how they pass it down to the next generation. Like me, when I feel like I'm not really feeling myself today, guess what I do? I stay in my damn house. Because it's not fair for me to take my nonsense out there and bother people with it. It's best that I stay home, I write it down, I do my meditation, I deal with it. Because guess what? Only I can give myself the care that is needed to heal my trauma. So how do I take care of myself? By writing down how I really feel, by practicing meditation, by eating the right stuff. Don't lay on your bed 24 hours and you hope that your energy level is going to be really high. No, you got to get out. Try as much as you can. Roll yourself out of your house if you can. If you can walk, roll out of your house. Start rolling from your bed. You roll. By the time you reach your living room, you start laughing at yourself like, what kind of nonsense is this? Why am I rolling towards my house? What happened to my feet? What happened to my legs? Why can't I just walk? You're going to realize how stupid it is, and you're going to get up and walk yourself out of that damn door. Because you're going to realize, why am I rolling out of my bed? So every single time that you don't feel like coming out of your bed, remember that I can actually roll myself out of this bed. Because rolling is not difficult too. You just roll like you're laying on your bed and then you fall. Pop! And then from the floor, you keep rolling. By the time you reach the living room, you will give up on your sad self, and then everything that's going to be left will be joy, because you're going to start laughing at yourself. That's the biggest joy ever, when you can laugh at yourself. Let's talk about one little aspect. Mental illness truly exists in the African community and Black community, because we can see it. We may not talk about it, but we can see it through all the things that are happening. I had to deal with my own mental health because I could not escape. I didn't enjoy alcohol. I tried to drink. I forced myself to drink alcohol. I even forced myself to like Hennessy. Hennessy was my choice of drinks. Everywhere I go, I want to drink Hennessy, but that didn't do nothing. I will even finish a bottle of Hennessy and I'll still be angry. Mental health in African community is non-existent Not because it doesn't really exist, but because it's not talked about as much as it should be talked about. The next video, I'm going to get into details with my own share of trauma, and we are going to dig deeper into more steps that can take you out of that situation that you find yourself into, take you from there to your higher self. Take care of yourself, love yourself, because if you don't, who do you expect is going to do it for you? Thank you very much for listening and tuning in, and see you next time.